think it looks good. Is that me? My camera that messed up? Oh, it's going to be fuzzy. See that? My glasses. Hey, good morning. It's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. And we have a really dirty camera, I think. And we're going to go live and clean the thing off somehow. Something. Does it help? Well, it helped a lot. There we go. Much better. Oh, I don't know why it was all dirty. Who knows? Got cold. I don't know. Hey, of course, it's a Monday, right? It's Monday. It's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. I'm Greg Mester, Scrum Master and Agile Coach, and here to talk about Agile and Scrum in a practical and tactical way and getting off to a late start. I think I have to start because the connection and reading what's going on in the world. I have to start time boxing, prepping for the show. That'd be a new time box that I didn't do before, which is cool because I got a lot of people to read what's going on in the world. Here we talk about Agile and Scrum, and we talk about it in a practical and tactical way, give you some ideas so you get home to your family and friends and grow your business, grow maybe what you do in what you're doing, working on. And if you have a side business, maybe get you home to do your side business so you can make money there and de-stress a little bit, right? A lot of stress going on. People overstress, burnout. We're going to talk about burnout today. And then just have some fun along the way. So with that, we're going to get started because we're late because it's 6:06, but I've been up. So all the next thing I know, I look at the clock and it's 6 o'clock. I'm like, whoa, okay. And then I got the cameras all screwy. But now it looks like it's okay, which is good because that was fuzzy. Sorry about the fuzzy intro. So I want to talk about two things today. I'm going to talk about PI planning a little bit too, because like I said last week, I was doing a PI planning session. Some of the things I noticed, some of the things we touched on a little bit about extra large features. And then I'm also going to talk a little about burnout, but I also want to address culture and different cultures. And so let's do the PI planning first. Is it easier? And then we'll do the burnout and the culture thing. And what you have to do. Culture is really important when you have distributed teams across multiple time zones across the world, different places, different things. Everybody's different, right? So PI planning. So I touched on the other day, and I had a couple teams that had these really large features going into PI planning. And people all worry about stuff. And I said, well, PI planning it's the way they do it is by quarter, right? So they do their PI planning by quarter. I said, well, that's only 3 months worth of work. I said, it's not a lot of work to plan out 3 months work. And if you can't plan out 3 months work, then you sure the heck can't plan out a year's worth of work. Just think about that for a second. Because I know there's a lot of people like, oh, we need estimates for a whole year's worth of work. I said, you can't even give enough requirements for 3 months, and you want to know what we're going to do for next year. Let me think about that for a second. Makes you think, doesn't it? So if you can't handle PI, you sure the heck can't handle waterfall, and you sure the heck can't plan a year out. You just need to figure out how much money you have, put it in an account, and then burn it down to whatever you need to get your stuff done. That's all you can do. So anyway, back to PI planning. So what I wrote down in my little book, I have my ideas, and this one I could read. I wrote it down last week. PI is a great time to go out and start decomposing those features or that time getting ready. And the reason why I said that, it's better to hit in PI planning if you get these giant features that just people like, oh, we're going to make this feature last the entire PI. I'm like, why? The PI planning with your people, and you got your dev and test people, you got your business people there, you got connections in different areas. It's a great it's supposed to be an interaction of people, and different teams. That's what PI planning is about. Otherwise, you just sit in a room and you just plan out your what you're going to work, and you don't need that. You don't need PI planning. You can do that every day, right? What makes PI planning different is the ability to communicate across teams to find dependencies. But that's another story. But we're going to talk about PI planning opportunity for you to break down your features. If you don't do it at PI planning and do a woulda, shoulda, coulda, right? And that's what I call it, woulda, shoulda, coulda. Later down the road, when you start testing this stuff, you're going to say woulda, shoulda, coulda, wished or would have liked to have broken this feature down, should have broken this feature down, and could have, but we didn't break this feature down, right? So that's what's going to happen. What will happen is that you'll get your last, like some people do these deliveries and they'll do all this work, and at the end, it's not what they want. By breaking it down into smaller pieces, you can get closer to what the customer wanted or their vision of what it was. It just didn't know how it was going to work. And really, until you interact with things, sometimes you don't really know. You can't dictate that. You can't figure that stuff out. You want it out there. So now's the time with those people in there to break that stuff down so you can get some feedback. You can always build it back up again if you really want to. You can make it bigger. This is the hard part, to make it smaller, because I can take two small pieces and making them a big piece if I wanted to. But the key is breaking it down at sprint PI planning early in the process, because now you got it broken down to smaller pieces. It helps you out longer time, because once you get into coding and you start doing your PI work and you really get your features done, it's very difficult for a team to stop what they're doing and then relook at stuff. So, and also it helps break down the stories, right? So when you take a big feature and you break it into smaller features. Now, features like a big functional piece of data have lots of stories to each feature. It makes it easier for every sprint to break those stories down into smaller, or those features into stories into your sprints. So I just want to share that with you. Do it during PI planning. The other thing I want to talk about a little about culture, and we'll talk about burnout. So I did read one article, which we'll comment on LinkedIn. So culture. So one of the things when we did that model show, which I still haven't put a picture up because I had to download everything. My phone was acting all kinds of weird yesterday. And one of the things I noticed, I was taking pictures of everything, and I forgot that, because we were in a Mennonite Amish area. Wasn't no Amish there because there's too many electronics, right? But the Mennonites were there. Amish and Mennonites, they don't like their picture taken, right? This is one of those things. And I'm with my phone and I'm taking some pictures. And out of a corner of my eye, I see an Amish girl like cover her face because they don't like their picture taken. I go, oh, I forgot. So I had to be more conscious, more aware of my surroundings and the culture. So there was only a few, there was only a handful, but I didn't want to infringe on their cultural ways. And I had to keep an eye out so I didn't try not to take any pictures of Amish kids or anything like that, or Amish people with their faces. But that goes into our teams. We're doing distributed teams around the world, right? You have to understand a little bit of culture and try to find out. And it's a great opportunity. Like if you're a Scrum Master, one of the beauties and fun things about Scrum Master, if you're working across time zones and cultures, as a Scrum Master, your job is to engage and bring the community together. So you get to be the first one to learn more about the community, the culture, what's going on, and stuff like that. So it's kind of fun. So you get to have some fun, but it's also very important that you figure out how to understand the culture and what's going on into what you're doing, so you can take their point of view. So I just want to share that about culture and the thing. Just try to understand those different cultures, what their issues are. I guess you can't have a Mennonite do coding, but then they don't like that anyhow. So anyway, just want to share that with you. So burnout. The last thing I want to talk about is burnout. I saw an article, and there are the top 6 things that happen in burnout. And I'm going to say the first 3 or the first 2 are really what this show's about, what Scrum's about, and the other ones are kind of waiting. So work overload, you cause burnout. Lack of control will cause burnout. They said Reward helps minimize burnout. Community fairness and values also help minimize the burnout. If you don't have any community organization that helps you support you. We won't talk about those things, but the two, work overload and the lack of control, we talk about here every day. So the little tricks and things in the practice and tactics that we give will help minimize work overload, because as you know, in the show, we talk about don't overcommit. That's the first thing that's going to get you work overload, is overcommitting. So give yourself some space, right? And the other one is lack of control. We talked about saying no and how to say no. That's about control, right? So one, learning how to say no is a control item. Learning how to handle a no, right? And also being okay with not knowing the answer. So those three things are like a control thing. If you can say no, you can take back control of what you can do. Um, you know, so those are the kind of how to handle no's. When people say no, you can't do that. So wait a minute, let's see what we can do. The other thing on those no's, just kind of touch on it. You need to challenge yourselves and your teams. How do we work around that no? How do we? So many teams like, I can't do this. I'm like, why can't you do it? Well, we need that. Well, what, can you create that? Well, yeah. Well, why don't you? Right? They all say no, they can't do something because they don't want to do the hard work to go around. But they'll be more than happy to say, I can't every sprint. As a scrum master, as a coach, you have to break that I can't and say, yes, you can. Just do one, right? It's going to take a little effort, but now I don't have to hear everybody say we can't do something for 365 days out of the year, right? Because we set those groundwork items. So those are items I want to talk about today. I got a nice compliment the other day from coaching. It was great. But and we'll see how it goes. Today's Martin Luther King's birthday here in the States. Different, I guess it's a national holiday now. So today I have off, so I'm going to try to catch up on some things, do some things with not with necessarily the community, but try to help a friend of mine kick off a website today. We're going to do some remote coding. We'll see how it goes. And I just want to wish you all happy day, happy scrumming. Hope you, if you have off, hope you enjoy it. Maybe take some of that to grow a little bit, enjoy some time with family and friends, and hopefully be able to take this and move along. So with that, thumbs up. Please ring the little bell. Share the site. We're getting a little bigger every day. So that's pretty good. And you tell, take care and have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye. See ya.